What's up, everybody? Last week, real estate billionaire Ross Perot Jr., Corcoran Group founder Barbara Corcoran, Twitter-owned Elon Musk, and Big Short investor Dave Burt all warned of an impending real estate recession, bloodbath, and meltdown, citing various reasons for a downturn. While Corcoran is mostly concerned with the commercial sector, Elon Musk tweeted that U.S. home values are set to plummet. He offered his take on the housing market on Twitter, the social network that he bought last year. Commercial real estate is melting down fast. Home values next. Musk immediately got backlash from Glenn Kelman, Redfin's CEO, as well as Selma Hepp, the chief economist at CoreLogic. So today, we'll take a look at what each of them are saying about the future of the housing market. Let's dive right in. First, let me say that Musk isn't alone in his opinion. Roy Ferris, the chief U.S. economist at Credit Suisse, and Ian Shepherdson, the chief economist and founder of Pantheon Macroeconomics, who called the 2008 housing crisis, are projecting double-digit national home price declines in 2023. And Dave Burt, the Big Short investor who also predicted the 2008 housing market collapse, believes that climate change will cause a housing market crash if lenders don't start taking into account climate risk like flooding. I did a video on this. If you want to see more what Burt is saying, definitely check that out next. But does Elon Musk really have the proper knowledge about the housing market to predict its future? I know it was reported that he recently sold off all of his residential real estate and is sleeping on his friends' couches, but does that make him an expert? I'm pretty sure he didn't sell all of his homes because he thought the values were about to plummet. It's more likely that he sold all of his homes to prove that he doesn't live like a billionaire, to show that he's more fiscally and environmentally responsible. It would be very problematic if I was spending billions of dollars a year in personal consumption, but that is not the case, Musk said, adding that he doesn't own a yacht or really take vacations, though he famously does have a personal jet. But is the jet electric? I mean, I know that he wants to build an electric airplane, but I think that his present jet does emit fossil fuel. Check this out. I found this on Business Insider. Musk's carbon footprint from his 171 private flights in 2022 was 132 times the size of the average U.S. resident's total annual footprint from all activities, the report found. His private plane burned about 221,358 gallons of jet fuel and emitted about 2,112 metric tons of carbon emissions last year, the report found. But I digress. Let's go back to his tweet on the housing market and see the responses. But before we do that, let's just take a look at what the others are saying about a possible recession. Barbara Corcoran believes that the commercial real estate sector is in serious trouble. It's great to say pennies on the dollar, but no one has the confidence to buy now, Corcoran said Wednesday in an interview on Fox Business, referring to the commercial sector. No one really believes it's going to turn the corner. I don't see that turning around. I think it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath before it gets better. When asked about the residential housing market, Corcoran noted that she expects the residential real estate sector to rise again as soon as mortgage rates, which earlier this week hit a 2023 high of 6.91%, subside. Right now, what everybody's afraid of is the high interest rates, but the minute those interest rates come down, all hell is going to break loose and prices are going to go through the roof, Corcoran said. I would not put it by the housing market that home prices go up by 20%. We could have COVID all over again. And Ross Perot Jr., the son of former independent presidential candidate Ross Perot and the chairman of the Perot Group, warned in an interview on Bloomberg TV that a real estate recession could be imminent if banks don't start loaning again. But he too is talking about the commercial real estate sector. If the industry can't get a construction loan, real estate will have a recession, Perot said. The key to commercial real estate today will be banking. Elon Musk, however, said that residential home values will follow the commercial real estate meltdown. After tweeting this, Glenn Kelman immediately responded by saying that residential real estate isn't suffering from the same lack of demand as commercial real estate is since the onset of remote work. The loss in demand for commercial real estate is what's driving demand for residential real estate, Kelman wrote. People who work from home need more space at home. Sales volume is down because inventory is down. Today, home prices increased for a second straight month. Data released this week via the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Index shows that U.S. home prices rose 0.7% in March compared to a year ago. The second straight month that home prices increased, leading many experts to suggest the period of annual price declines may be coming to an end. In a second tweet, Kelman said, inventory is at roughly 2/3 the levels it was pre-pandemic, from 2016 to 2019, during a strong seller's market. In other words, Kelman was arguing that residential real estate is experiencing a seller's market now, the implication being that a meltdown is not imminent. Needless to say, there were some responses to Kelman's tweets that were pretty aggressive. One person said, "Why do we have to trust you? You're lying for your benefit." But Kelman isn't alone. Selma Hepp, the chief economist at CoreLogic, says that the nation's lack of housing supply will keep home prices high and prevent a crash. In fact, she believes that the housing market is heading for a recovery. "It's my take that we are not seeing signs of a potential crash at all," Hepp told Insider. "If anything, home prices are growing again and at a much faster pace than anticipated." The S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index supports what Hepp is saying, showing a monthly gain of 1.3% in March, which is an acceleration of the 0.3% increase a month earlier. CoreLogic found that home buying activity in March was the hottest on the West Coast, and that San Diego and San Francisco, one of a few U.S. cities that did suffer double-digit price drops, posted the strongest monthly price gains. And she's not wrong. At least where I am in the DC area, I'm seeing houses go way above asking in multiple offers with bidding wars on good houses, meaning those houses that show well and are priced right, because there's not enough inventory. There's not enough supply to meet the demands. The spring home buying season is characterized by stronger return of buyers than sellers, which created another competitive market environment, and one in which the very meager inventory of existing homes is putting buyers in a position of having to pay over the asking price, Hepp said. This has driven spring price gains well beyond what is traditionally seen during this period, she added. "I know that my potential sellers are choosing to sit tight with their low interest rates rather than sell and then go buy something with a higher one. It just doesn't make sense to them, and honestly, I can't blame them. A lot of us refinanced in the last 3 years. I personally have an interest rate now of 2.875%. Why would I sell my house and then go buy something with a 6% or more? It just doesn't make sense." The sellers I do have are either deciding to rent, moving out of state, or they don't care about interest rates because they're paying cash. Less sellers equals less inventory, which means the demand will be higher than the supply, therefore resulting in multiple offers and prices going way above asking. Hepp said that bidding wars could become only more common as the year progresses. "We've seen an increase in biddings," she said. "In our data, about 32% of homes sold over the asking price in April. That means we've probably seen the extent of home price declines." I don't know if you guys saw this, but Business Insider gave an example of this house in Durham, Connecticut, which is a town of about 7,000 people, located about 2 hours from New York City or Boston, where more than 300 people lined up to see this small 1,164 square foot house. 300 people. That is insane. According to the data from Redfin, during March, 33% of the homes for sale in the city went above the asking price. Some other data from Redfin's latest housing market update show that home prices increased the most in Milwaukee, up 9.3%, Cincinnati up 6.4%, Miami up 5.7%, Fort Lauderdale, Florida up 5.4%, and Newark, New Jersey up 4.7%. And new listings of homes for sale fell 23.4% year over year, adding to a 10-month streak of double-digit declines. This lack of inventory has to change if we are ever going to see a balanced real estate market again. New listings declined in all of the markets that Redfin analyzed. They fell most in Las Vegas, down 42.3% year over year, Oakland down 39.8%, Seattle down 39.4%, San Diego down 37.1%, and Phoenix down 36.8%. Active listings, the number of homes for sale at any point during the period, dropped 2.9% from a year earlier, the second decline in 12 months. Active listings also inched finished down 0.2% from a month earlier. And typically they post month-over-month increases at this time of year. But even with these active listings being bought up, pending home sales are down 17% year over year, the second biggest decline since January. The biggest decline was a week ago when pending sales were down 17.1%. Pending home sales fell in all of the metros that Redfin analyzed. They declined the most in Seattle, down 31.8% year over year, San Diego down 31.4%, Portland, Oregon down 30.1%, Sacramento down 26.3%, and Milwaukee down 25.8%. This only confirms that even with more active listings being bought up, the number of transactions is still way down because there's just not enough homes to buy. Homes that sold were on the market for a median of 29 days, the shortest span since September. That is up from a record of 18 days a year earlier. But this is the median, remember. Where I am, if a house is overpriced or doesn't show well, it will sit there until it gets reduced and reduced and reduced enough until a buyer will pull the trigger. On average, 5.2% of the homes for sale each week did have a price drop, up from 3.9% a year earlier. And 34.7% of homes sold above their list price. That's the highest share since September, but is down from 54% a year earlier. And the months of supply, which is a measure of the balance between supply and demand, was 2.7 months, up from 2.1 months a year earlier. And just so you guys know, they say that 4 to 5 months of supply is what it takes for a balanced market. So 2.7 months of supply is still a seller's market. But what are you guys seeing? What are you seeing where you live? Are you seeing multiple offers and bidding wars like I am? Or are you seeing more inventory in the market or even possible foreclosures? Definitely comment below, tell us where you live, and tell us what you're seeing. This is the weirdest housing market I've seen in a long time, and until we get a more balanced market, which means more inventory, I just think it's gonna get worse. If you didn't see my video from last week on the weirdest housing market, definitely check it out next. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!